Hi, and welcome to the Wholehearted Man Show. My name is John Dew. I'm your host, and this is the first video of many to come where we're going to be talking about what it means to be a man, a real man. We're going to define that. We're going to understand that. We're going to see how that can play into our everyday lives, our interactions with a girlfriend, a wife, a partner, any relationship in your family. So we're going to just talk about men, what it means to be a man. And I wanted to start this short intro video to the series with just some basic parameters of what the show's about and what you can expect. It's going to change over time, but I really feel there's a need for this. As you know, growing up, I didn't really have a father figure. I had a father. He was in California. I was in Dallas at the time, and he really wasn't involved in what I was doing. We would come out and visit and stuff, but really beyond that, some playtime that really wasn't there. And then as I got older, I moved out, and it all went downhill from there. But back in Dallas, I remember I was about 14 or 15 years old, and I was always trading stuff and working and mowing lawns and doing what I could to, earn some money. And I was just kind of wheeling and dealing. And I came across a friend who had an old beat up POS car. And so what I did was I traded him some stuff for that. I got it towed over to my house, and I would just sit and tinker with it and go through it and what have you. So when I first got it, I went in the glove box and realized, oh, this is an owner's manual. This little book, it, tells you about the general operations of the car and what have you. And so I looked at that and used it to the best of, the ability. But then as I got older, I remembered back to that. And I thought to myself, I wish I had an owner's manual. I wish I had known, how to navigate certain things in this world. I wish I had been given the advice and the direction and instruction to go get what I wanted, to go achieve what I wanted, so that life wouldn't be so hard. And I was lost. So it's taken me a long time to figure this out, and it's a never-ending journey. But I think I've come to a place where there's enough information in my head, enough experiences, and enough consuming of information and materials from others that I want to bring this back, and give back. One of the things that happened is I had taken some friends on a fishing trip. Actually, they were employees / friends on a fishing trip. And we had just gone up and camped and everything, and we were fishing and what have you. So we caught some fish, and one of the guys who was younger, he didn't even know how to skin a fish. He didn't know how to gut it, what to do with it. We just had these trout, and that was it. And it dawned on me right then and there, how many kids across the nation, across the world, don't know how to do basic things. So in that moment, it was okay, they don't necessarily know how to even build a campfire. And I don't mean rubbing two sticks together. I mean just a match and some paper, but really how to build a campfire, how to catch a fish, let alone how to clean it, how to do different things in life. And that brought me back to where I was when I was younger, of kind of that owner's manual of how to do things. So this has been many years in the making as I mold over things in my head. But what that ultimately led to, as I think those things are important, how to change a tire, do different things like that. But really, ultimately, those are skills that can be learned, and not everybody needs to know everything. To be a real man doesn't mean that you need to know how to do this or that or the other, because if it doesn't interest you, it doesn't interest you. But there's certain universal truths, I believe, that we need to understand and identify in our lives of how to operate as men, so that we can be better men for this planet, so we can be better leaders, better, sons, fathers, especially. We're raising the next generation. So it doesn't matter if you're hearing this and you're 15 years old, or you're 50 years old, or 70 years old. It applies to everybody, because these universal truths transcend all time and age. There's things that I understand could be different. Maybe the older person is not going to necessarily be on Facebook very much, or even be on Facebook, and not really be worried about navigating the social media world. And so that set of issues to that person isn't relevant, where someone much younger, that's a big deal. So I understand there's going to be differences, and we're going to explore and navigate all those things. I had written down here some notes. So ultimately, the goal of the Wholehearted Man um, program is to change the way men and women perceive what being a man is, and how creating that shift will change the world. And as we improve men's self-perception and we give back permission to all of us that we as men have worth and value of which is much greater than we are currently giving back to the world. So as we go through this journey together, and I begin to, talk to you guys about these things, and I fully want your input. And as we learn and grow these things together, ultimately we level up. And as men, as we level up in this world, it's going to level up the world. My ultimate dream and goal is to get kind of this curriculum, this understanding out there to the point that people are talking about it, understanding it, and accepting some of the basic truths in what I think needs to happen in this world, so that there is this kind of universal leveling up. Not everybody needs to agree on the same thing. They don't need to be the same religion, the same belief, right? They don't need to like the same music, the same type of way. It's not saying, I'm not saying that you have to believe step and fetch in this or that, because that's not what it's about. That would be ignorant, and it would actually exclude a lot of people. The goal here is to include everybody, including women. We're half the population, so I can sit here and say, let's be wholehearted men and let's do this and let's do that, but we can't, ignore the undeniable other half of the whole human race, which is the female part. So we need to learn to come together. We need to make this so everybody's included. And I mean everybody. So there's a segment of society that's gay, lesbian, right? Whatever, transgender, all that plays into this, even though that's not necessarily, a large portion. Everybody matters. And, I see so many kids out there that are kind of lost, as I was, and just don't really have direction. And you may have a father at home, and he's just not giving you what you need, and he's not fathering really very well. And there's others that are great. There's great fathers out there, and there's great men out there. And that's what I want to celebrate as well. I want to talk about and use these guys as models and examples that we can all live by, so that we can improve our lives. Ultimately, I think here's what I'm trying to say, if I were to boil it down, is that at the end of the day, a lot of us, whether we had fathers or not, were not given the proper tools, the proper understanding of how the world works. And so we're raised in a way where we're kind of lost, and then, okay, you're 18 and you're out and you're on your own. And now we're going to go navigate the world without being really given the proper tools and understanding to operate by. So what do I mean by that? If you come up and you're dealing with women, you're dealing with girls, right? Depending on your age, and you don't know how to understand them. You don't know how to navigate the situation. You don't know how to talk to a woman. You're not sure about the manners, going on a date, right? None of this stuff has been instilled in us because we didn't have really great role models. And again, if you did, I'd love to hear from you. And if you didn't, I'd love to hear from you. But at the end of the day, I want to shed light on how that looks and how that works and what we can do. And I want to supply those tools to you. And I want to help you understand, I should say, what's needed to be as successful as you can be in whatever way you want to be in this world. Because again, I believe there's some basic universal truths that if we just identify and quit fighting life and quit trying to, see everything as an obstacle and understand so that you can flow around it, so that when something comes up, you've got a bag of tricks, so to speak, that you can reach into. And then you pull these things, you pull these out at the right time regarding the right situation, so that you know what to do in that situation. So let's say you're out on a date, you're on your first date, and the woman is, the girl you're with is really rude, or is kind of avoiding you in the sense of not really talking very much, doesn't show much interest in you. We need to know what to do with that. We need to know how to navigate that. We need to know what red flags to look out for. We need to understand what this means in the scheme of things. We've got to be secure enough in ourselves, have enough confidence to know, even if we got the right tool, to know exactly how to use it, when and where. And then when you do use it, you use it with confidence. You use it in a way that is kind and understanding, but it can also be firm. So these are the things I'm going to explore, and I'm going to, and in the videos to come, break this down one by one and go through these things. And I want to, on this show, I basically just want to help give you the skills needed to navigate through life better. We're going to be having guests and talking about current issues men face today, and basic issues, again, that have been around since the beginning of time. I'm going to read your emails on the air. So you can write to me at thewholeheartedman@gmail.com. And then we're also going to be taking callers and having like hangouts together, like a Google Hangout, and all that is coming. So that's it for now. I hope you're getting at least a basic understanding of what I'm hoping to do here. And then, like I said, I'm going to be breaking that down as we go along. So thank you for your time, and I will see you soon. Bye.